In this video, let's take a look at what is trending this 2024 holiday season with low and medium content books, and more specifically, coloring books. What are people publishing? What are customers buying? And how marketing coloring books is changing this year. Hi, I'm Caroline. Welcome to my channel. Every single week I share videos all about self-publishing books, and you're watching one of them right now. So thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to join me here. If you haven't already, please make sure to subscribe so that you do not miss out on any more videos just like this one. We are about to head into Q4, which is the last 3 months of the year and probably the biggest buying period for pretty much any product because of the amount of holidays we have at the end of the year, like Halloween and Christmas. Plus, we have all the major shopping events in Q4, like Black Friday and Cyber Monday. All of these events combined make for the biggest spending period across the entire planet. And if you want to get a piece of that, then I want to go through some of the trends that I've been seeing this year that are going to be even bigger in these last 3 months of the year. Now, some of these trends are just that, and they will die off in the next year or so, or when a new trend comes along. And then some of these trends will stick around for a while and become permanent books or permanent styles of books. And how will we know which ones are going to die off and which ones are going to stay? Well, that we just don't know. But it's a really good idea to keep on top of what is selling on Amazon, what new books are being published, which books are being shared on social media and on TikTok specifically. I like to spend a lot of time browsing Amazon and just looking at all the low and medium content books and seeing what people are buying, what books are becoming bestsellers. And I also spend a lot of time looking at books on TikTok to see what is being shared over there. TikTok is currently one of the best social media platforms to share and to promote books on. And as I've shown in quite a few of my videos, there are many low and medium content books that have become bestsellers because of TikTok. So I do suggest that you also spend regular time on Amazon and on some of the social media platforms, because this will help you see which trends are dying off and which trends are getting popular a lot earlier than other people. So let's get into it. I have quite a few trends that I want to share with you, and the first one is extremely simple coloring books. Some of the most popular coloring books right now are basically childlike coloring books that are being bought and used by adults. And so I say childlike because they aren't children's coloring books. There is still a big difference in the type of coloring images within these books when compared to an actual children's coloring book, but they are simple and childlike in the sense that the coloring pages, they're big, they're bold, there is a lot of white space and very little detail in them. Let's have a look at some examples. The first one that I've pulled up to look at is this Stress Relief coloring book. It's a bold, easy coloring book. When we look inside, what you're going to see is just really simple images. Very, very basic, very thick, bold lines. Not much detail whatsoever and a lot of white space. Now we can only see one of the inside pages, but on the back cover here, it's got some other examples of the images within the book. And just look at how simple these are. Very, very simple. And that is what I mean by childlike. A lot of white space, a lot of thick black lines, which are traditionally used in children's coloring books, but the images are more suited for adults in the sense that these are not typically the kind of images you would get in a children's coloring book. And so if you are wondering of the popularity of this specific book, this one is currently sitting with a bestseller rank of 74. So this book is in the top 100 of all books across Amazon, which is incredible. This book would be selling thousands of copies a month. Another one that I want to look at is Food and Snacks Coloring Book by Meg Publishing. I have featured this book in couple of my previous videos, and this publisher was one of the first ones to start creating these types of very simple coloring books. And again, you just see some really big, bold images, big, thick black lines, lots and lots of white space. And these kind of coloring books are all over Amazon at the moment. And it just seems like the more simple, the better. And I think that what has happened here is that some coloring books are very detailed, very artistic, very creative. And for people who aren't artistic themselves, they might have been a bit intimidated by them. They were seeing other people's coloring pages from a very creative and artistic coloring book like this one, and might be thinking, I could never color in like that. And the whole point of the coloring book is to help relax people, not stress them out about whether they can color it in good enough or not. And so when these really simple coloring books started to be made and published, all those people probably felt like they finally had something that suited their artistic ability, that they could color in, that they could do in a really mindful and relaxing way, and not have that feeling that they're not artistic enough. And this is also great for those of us who do publish coloring books, because these types of images and coloring pages are so much easier and simple to make. And I think this style is actually going to stay around for quite a while. The next trend that I have seen in the last few months is a comeback of the Hello Kitty kawaii style of images when creating coloring books. Hello Kitty is a character and has been around for years and has always been very popular in Japan and with people who are very interested in Japan pop culture. But I have noticed that it has exploded around the world recently. I personally have never really seen or never really noticed Hello Kitty in shops in Australia before now, unless it was some sort of specialty shop. But now, everywhere you go, literally there are Hello Kitty products everywhere. Pretty much every single store that I go into is selling something Hello Kitty branded, and it seems to have brought back that kawaii style of images, which just falls in with the trend that we did just talk about really simple coloring books. The kawaii style of illustrations are quite simple themselves as well. And I noticed this first off with the Bobby Goods brand of coloring books. Now, these are not sold on Amazon. They are sold on their own website, and I came across this brand on TikTok. But this was one of the first people to really start this simple kawaii style of coloring book earlier this year. They've created this set of characters in this really simple sort of kawaii style that they've incorporated into their coloring books, as well as some other products that they sell too. But their coloring books are their most popular product. And then heading over to Amazon, we have books like this, which have also created these just really simple kawaii style of coloring pages. And it's sort of these just really cute little animals that are featuring in the coloring pages. And we've got this one as well by Coco Yo. We look at the inside of this one. These are also extremely similar to the Bobby Goods characters, using that kawaii style of illustration of coloring page. And I think this is a really fun trend to jump on and come up with some of your own fun characters that you can create a coloring book around. Okay, so the next trend that has come along that is still quite specific to coloring books, but it has sort of spread out into other niches, and that is this trend of having square-shaped books. So for years, especially within coloring books, the standard size that you would make a coloring book, or even something like an activity book, was an 8.5 by 11 inch sized book. And this is sort of along the lines of an A4 sized page. It's not exactly that size, but just to give you an idea of the kind of size of an 8.5 by 11 inch, it's sort of a rectangle shaped book. Earlier this year, when these simple coloring books started being published, someone did it in a square shape, which on Amazon KDP is an 8.5 inch by 8.5 inch sized book. And it took off. And when you search for coloring books on Amazon now, literally every newly published coloring book is in this square shape. We head over to Amazon and just type in coloring book, and then we'll have a look at the search results, and you're going to see so many of these square shaped books, which is a change from this more rectangle shaped book, which is what coloring books and most other books used to be published at. But now we've got all these square coloring books coming out. So the more rectangle ones that you'll see are books that were probably published earlier this year or last year. And all these square ones are the newly published books that are taking on this trend. And it works really well for these simple coloring pages because aesthetically it will just look more pleasing to the eye, because there is already a lot of white space within the coloring page and around that coloring image. And it would just look nicer to have an even amount of space around that image compared to a rectangle shaped book where you're going to have a lot more white space above and below the image. It is also, I guess, a little bit more modern looking, a bit more fresh. People sometimes get bored of the same old thing, and having something as simple as the size of a book or the shape of a book being changed can really mix it up and give it that fresh feel and that fresh look. And just as a side note, children's picture books are very commonly this size or this square shape as well, which just falls in with that childlike style of very simple coloring pages that I talked about at the beginning of this video. Will this trend stick around? I think it will stick around as long as these really simple coloring book trends are around, and I think we'll just see a mix of different formats going forward, some square format shape and some rectangle shape, and it will just depend on the type of the coloring pages that are being made. The next trend that I've seen across social media for all sorts of things, and it has seeped into coloring books too, and that is this cozy trend. People all around the world are going through this phase at the moment of wanting everything to be cozy, their house, their lifestyle, and I have seen coloring books get in on this trend too. Sometimes it is also called comfy, but this is really trending on social media like Instagram and TikTok, as well as YouTube, and it's just about really embodying slow living. So when we head on over to YouTube, there are so many videos about cozy slow life, cozy nighttime routines, cozy lifestyle vlogs. And in the past, being hyper productive and on the go all the time has sort of been celebrated, but there is definitely a wellness trend right now of slowing down, getting comfy and cozy, and giving yourself a rest. When we head on over to Amazon and I do a search for cozy coloring book, there are so many coloring books coming up with the words cozy or comfy as keywords in their title. These books are really popular at the moment. These are some of the most popular coloring books on Amazon right now. We also have this one here using the word fuzzy, super cute coloring book, where it's just these really warm, cozy, inviting looking coloring books. This one that we looked at earlier is also using the keyword cozy a couple times in their title. We've got cozy up here as well as comfy and cozy coloring books. The same with this Coco Yo coloring book that we looked at earlier, Cozy Friends, which is another one of their books in the top 100. And it's just a really popular little sub niche within the coloring book niche at the moment. Now, the next trend that I've seen is actually that Halloween is bigger than Christmas. Halloween is hugely popular, and it always has been in the United States, but it has always been something quite specific to the US. But every country seems to be adopting Halloween as a legitimate event that needs to be celebrated. I know here in Australia, Halloween gets more and more popular every year, and those who do love Halloween go all out. And books are no exception. Halloween coloring books are some of the most popular coloring books on Amazon, and sometimes they sell well year round and not just at Halloween. And could it be because anyone of any age can really get into Halloween, whereas while people definitely get into the Christmas spirit, I think that once their kids find out Santa Claus is not real, it sort of loses some of its magic a little. I don't know, I could be wrong, but I know that for a lot of people, once they find out that Santa Claus is not real, Christmas kind of really just becomes about presents and spending time with family, as opposed to making it this really big thing that they go all out for. And I also could be wrong about this too, but from what I understand about what people have told me who do live in the US, Thanksgiving is more of a popular holiday than Christmas. And then of course there are countries who just do Christmas completely different to us. But anyway, moving on and looking at this creepy kawaii coloring book, this is popular all year round and has been for a few years now. But at Halloween, the sales of this book skyrocket and it sells like crazy. And it's the same for a lot of other Halloween coloring books too. I've shared quite a few videos around seasons, holidays, and events, and why these are great times to publish a book specific to that holiday or event to give you little boosts of income at certain times of the year. Okay, let's switch it up a little and look at the trends around how people are sharing and marketing their books. And one of the biggest trends right now is user-generated content marketing. And this essentially is marketing that other people do for you. Content creators have your book and They're sharing it for you on their social media pages, and this is really big on TikTok. And what better marketing method could you have? It is free. You're not doing any of the work, and there really is nothing better than word of mouth marketing. So whether you are giving your book to content creators for them to try out and hope that they do share your book in a video, or whether they are purchasing your book themselves and sharing it with their audience, this type of marketing is just so powerful. Let's take a look at TikTok, for example. I've just gone into TikTok and typed in coloring book into the search bar, and what we can see straight out is this video here. This video has 1.9 million views, and it is one of the Cocoyo cute and comfy coloring books. Now, this person doesn't publish these books. They have purchased or been given it somehow, and they take videos of themselves coloring these books in. So the brand of that book is receiving millions upon millions of views around their videos from this account, and then this person has links to the different coloring books that they like to color in. So this link takes someone directly to Amazon, where they can purchase these coloring books that they're seeing in these videos. Another one here, 7.3 million to this video of someone coloring in a coloring page. This video specifically is talking about the markers used, but she's talking about using them in the Bobby Goods coloring book. So that is the coloring book back here that I showed you that started off using this kawaii trend of illustrations. This person has created a video talking about the Bobby Goods coloring book and the markers that they've used, and it's received over 200,000 views. And this is just the best type of marketing that you can hope for when using social media. And this trend will continue for a while, I think, because one, people want what other people have, and two, people value other people's opinions much more than an ad. We have one more trend that is big this holiday season, and this isn't actually a new one, but one that I actually talk about all the time, and that is making email lists and building an email list a priority. Email marketing has always been the number one way to market your products to an audience that actually gets results, but I think with the popularity of social media over the last few years, people have gotten a little bit lazy and have forgotten the power of email lists and email marketing. Especially when someone is seeing good results from social media, they put building an email list on the back burner because they think they're getting such great results from their social media following. But I think that this has become a priority again to build an email list for people, because this year has really shown how unstable social media can be. There are governments wanting to shut down and regulate TikTok and other social media platforms. There's been data breaches on Facebook, and any social media platform can just be shut down in an instant, or it could just become the one that nobody's interested in and nobody uses anymore. People need some stability with their marketing methods, and email lists have always been and always will be the best way to do that. They are very stable, and I'm seeing more and more people start to put their focus back into email lists again. Well, I hope that you have found this video an interesting look into some of the more popular trends with coloring books this holiday season. As with all trends, some come and go, new ones come along and take over, and you do always need to be keeping your eyes on what is happening and what's changing with self-publishing books on Amazon KDP and within the niches that you want to publish books in. As with any online business, it is ever changing, and Amazon's customers are always looking for the new, fun, fresh thing. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video.